Jaden Rashada is no longer a signee of the Florida Gators. After committing to UF on November 7th, Rashada signed with the Gators during the early period. He fully intended to enroll early with the other recruits in UF's 2023 class, but then he no-showed. And last week, Rashada requested and was granted his release from UF. That brings us to where things stand today. I want to bring on Director of Recruiting for On3, Chad Simmons. Chad, what is the latest scoop on Rashada now that he's back on the market?
You know, Josh, we know that he was obviously at Arizona State once he got the full release from Florida over the weekend. And then he's expected to be at TCU this coming weekend. And then based on the intel I'm getting, they expect him to sign next Wednesday, February 1st, as of right now. Now, obviously, he could take more time if he felt like he wanted to or needed to for whatever reason. But I'm hearing really 5 schools, really 4. But obviously, Arizona State, TCU, the local program Cal, Washington, and then Colorado still lurking back there. Again, I'm not really hearing Colorado's a true contender for Rashada at this time, but really I've been told right now the top 2 are Arizona State and TCU, but to keep an eye on Cal and Washington still hanging around.
All right, guys, do me a favor, like and subscribe to the On3 YouTube page. We're here all year bringing you guys the biggest recruiting stories and the best college football coverage. Do me a favor and subscribe to the On3 YouTube page. All right, so he visited Arizona State last week. And what's the connection there to Arizona State?
Well, obviously, it starts at the top with Kenny Dillingham. Obviously, Dillingham being the OC at Oregon. They had Rashada on the Oregon campus multiple times throughout his recruitment, so that connection, obviously KD Dillingham is the, quarterback guy, OC at Oregon, now being that same type of role. He's going to be the guy recruiting quarterbacks for Arizona State and talking about offensive scheme, fit, and that kind of thing. So that connection right there put Arizona State in the room to be a competitor for Rashada.
All right. Now, we know NIL has been a theme, good or bad, throughout Jaden Rashada's recruitment. But at this point, how much do you think NIL plays into his future decision?
Well, it's definitely a factor. To what level will it be the same as it was with Miami or with Florida? I think that's to be determined. I think that's one thing that's very interesting to watch because I think if he picks TCU, obviously there's other factors there, but we know they'll play in the NIL game. With Arizona State, I don't think they're ready to do that yet under Dillingham, at least with recruits. Obviously, with his team and players, yes, they'll benefit from NIL deals at Arizona State. But I think if NIL is a factor, I think that hurts Arizona State. If it is based on relationships and maybe who he feels most comfortable with, I think it helps Arizona State.
Now, to talk about Colorado for a minute, there's a lot of emphasis and hype around Shedeur Sanders. Do you think that Shedeur being there and being the starter in 2023 will impact Rashada's decision? Or is this a scenario where, hey, he might need to sit out a year, let things calm down, and this could be one of the best situations to walk into?
Yeah, I don't think Shedeur will be a real factor for Rashada. I mean, I think he's realistic with himself. It's tough for any player to come in and start right away or even play significant minutes, right away, especially at quarterback and learning a new system, a new staff there at Colorado in their first year as well. So, no, I do not think Shedeur coming in and kind of understanding the scheme and playing for his dad and all that is really a big factor for Rashada. I just don't hear as much about Colorado being truly under consideration right now. Again, this can change any minute, but I don't think that's a big factor for Jaden Rashada.
All right. Now, when it comes to a timeline for this final decision, we're about a week away from the February 1st signing day. Now, he doesn't have to sign on that day. He can take it into the whole month of February and all the way up to April 1st. But do you think that he's trying to make a decision by February 1st? Is that the goal here?
Based on what I'm hearing, yes. I do think he'd like to have this over with. If they get all their T's crossed and I's dotted. Obviously, we know we thought it was over with in December with Florida. So things do happen. But yes, based on what I'm hearing, from multiple sources connected to that recruitment. The goal is to get it done next week and be signed on February 1st. Again, I think we'll know a lot more maybe Monday-ish coming out of that TCU visit, maybe Sunday, just kind of what the vibe is, what we're hearing, if other schools could try to get him on campus and extend this into February. But right now, I think the goal is to be done next week.
All right, so where it stands now, I know there could be some twists and turns coming up, but Chad, I just got to ask you, where do you think he ends up if today was signing day?
Man, if I had to put my money on one school, I'd probably lean towards TCU just because of the NIL factor. He knows Kendall Briles. He visited Arkansas at one point as well. They have that connection. Maybe not as deep and as strong as Dillingham with Arizona State. But again, if NIL is a true factor, I have to lean towards a school that will play that game a little bit, and I think that's more TCU, even Washington or Cal. But I think if I had to pick one, it would be TCU over Arizona State right now, trending that way.
All right, Jaden Rashada back on the market. We'll see how his visit goes to TCU this weekend, and we'll get all the intel from you on Monday on the Inside Scoop. Thanks, Chad.
Anytime. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button for me, and remember to check out all the videos on the On3 YouTube page.